No. Okay.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Success Secrets Revealed live stream show with Albert Corey. He's a senior tax accountant and business growth strategist. He's going to come on and talk to us about a lot of different things that are going to help you both learn how to make money and then keep the money that you have made. First, I want to let you know about the show, how the show came about, and introduce our sponsor. Then I'm going to bring Albert on. The show came about because I have a regular show called Internet Marketing and Business Solutions with Ronald Koeman. It's a radio show, WCAP 980 AM. And so we have about 1.7 million reach. I love that. I like to mention that. I'm proud of that. It took time to get there. And but because of COVID, they weren't manning the station, so they're just running reruns. And I did the show for like 3.5 years, so there's tons of reruns, but I wanted to give current information so people can get an idea of what's happening, how to get through it, and then what to do after it. So that's why I started this live stream. So we're going to do the live stream. I'm going to strip out the audio. I'm going to send it to the radio station, and at some point they will put that in the feed, so it will be live on the radio station. It could be next week, could be 6 months from now, because I have so many, but at least people will hear this. I'm also going to take this video and share it all through all my social media channels, which is in excess of probably 300,000. Plus my guests will share it as well. So enough of that. The host is and no guest gets paid to be on this show, and I don't get paid to do this show. So everybody here is here free, right? Nobody's paying, nobody's getting paid. We're here literally just to give back and help people along. So I want to introduce our sponsor. There is a sponsor. The sponsor is my company, RCS Online Solutions. We basically help business owners and entrepreneurs, much like yourself, or those who want to be, create an online presence or update their online presence, and then attract, convert, and retain their ideal customers and clients. So, at the end of the day, it's all about awareness equaling opportunity. If you come up on the first page of the search engines for your name or your business name, so what? That doesn't matter. Very few people, if anyone, has your business name or your name. No one's searching for you that way. What they're searching for when they're looking for the type of business, service, and solution that you provide is they're online searching for the solution. You need to come up. Like me, I would need to come up as website designer, SEO company in Billerica, Boston, whatever it is, because that's what they're searching for. If they know your name or they know your company's name, they're just going to pick up the phone and call you, right? So understand that if you're not ranking for your products and services, you're losing millions, and somewhat more importantly is you're not serving as many people as you could be serving. So enough of that. I know that everybody who listens to the show has a good heart and good services. I just want to make sure that you're getting yourself out in front of your customers and clients so you can serve them and help them have a better life too, right? So now, Albert Corey is our guest today. He was actually born in Western Massachusetts to parents from Lebanon. Moved to Miami when he was 10. Graduated from University of Southern Florida in 1982. And we probably don't have to do the math, but my guess is he's about 56. Dreamed of working in downtown Miami, Looking Bay, and that didn't happen since no one was hiring during that time. He went from college grad to cleaning toilets. A short time later, Mom told him that he had to pay the IRS. He said that since he always got cash, he had to think about it. He went to work at H&R Block, tax preparation company. Someone comes to the manager and says, will you come to my house to file my tax return? The manager says, sure, no problem. The cost is $500. That was a turning point in his life since he got paid only $4 an hour. He is going to person's house and doing live taxes. He has gone on to write books, and now he is the owner of Corey and Associates. And so why don't we just bring him on, because this is kind of long. So let me bring Corey on, and he can talk to us for it. Corey, how are you, brother?
Good. Hey, Ron. Sorry. Hey, first of all, I'd like to thank Ron for letting me on. As a tax professional who has filed over 40,000, 80,000 tax returns and 15,000 business returns, every day we're out there finding the solutions to make sure small businesses pay less with little or no resources.
I love it. And again, it's not about getting over. I mean, I've had this conversation with several people myself. If the tax code says you are entitled to this tax deduction or that tax deduction, then you are legally entitled to it. It is not a loophole. It is not a scam. It's not a game. See, what some people don't realize is if I have to pay for marketing to bring in a customer and client, that client pays me $10,000. I have to pay employees, but I also have to pay for that marketing. I also have to pay for the rent. So a $10,000 client at the end of the day might be $2,000 on margin, and then you got to pay your taxes, whatever's left, and don't forget about that sneaky self-employment tax. So now you're up in that 32.5% tax rate, and so I love learning anything about taxes because you have to pay your legal share, but not a penny more.
Yes, that's always been my motto, that thou shalt not give Caesar more than Caesar's due. But what I will tell people, by the way, if you're self-employed, go open up a sub-S company. All right, that's the deduction that most people don't realize. And another secret ninja trick would be is try to open up in states with no state income tax. I can tell you're from Boston, and guess what? Massachusetts is gonna whack the you-know-what on you. Yes. So you need to find ways to open up in states like Florida, where I'm at, where there's no state income tax, guys, where it's not expensive to open up corporations, you know. So you go to states that you don't have to, and the legal trick is that the states say you have to have your corporate office. What does that mean? Dude, you get your cousin in Florida to say, hey, can I use your address as the corporate address? You then use that as your corporate address, but your mailing address could be any place else. And that's how you kind of get around it.
Right. That's like where you file your corporate papers and where they can go to search. But you could also hire what's called a resident agent and avoid all that.
Right.
Yeah. So because sometimes, some people might think that, asking your cousin to lie for you is one thing. But when you hire a resident agent, it's totally legal. They get you a phone number in the city. They get you a street address, and it might cost you $250 a month. But if you're in a state like California and you're paying 12% state tax, that's before your federal tax, and you can't even write that off anymore. And you're making just $100,000 a year. That's $12,000 a year you saved simply by filing in, Wyoming, Las Vegas, Florida, and several other states with no state tax.
Can I tell you another little trick to get around it? Is go to the UPS stores, and most UPS stores, independent contractors, you go and find one in Florida. Okay, this is perfectly legal, and get one of their mailboxes. Because remember, when you use a UPS store, you're getting a street address. Okay, you're going to get a street address. Another thing you can do is, if you really want to play at the highest level, go out and rent a virtual office somewhere. Virtual offices like WeWorks, Regal, Regis.
$35 a month, you get a desk.
You get a desk, and that's all. In reality, that's all the states care about. Oh, well, I'm in Florida, and that's legal. And that's perfectly. You're not asking your cousin, your brother, or your mother. That's not lying. Well, your corporate office is in Florida. I had one customer, and she lives around me in Hialeah. But which is a small town, nobody knows Hialeah, Florida. But I told her, go rent a desk on Miami Beach on Collins Avenue, South Beach, at WeWorks. Well, WeWorks says Collins Avenue, 1500 Ocean Drive, Miami Beach. Hello, you have that? Oh my God. You could be homeless. And that's part of what my book, The Perception System, is. The world don't know that you're homeless. The world sees that your office is 1500 Ocean Drive. Everybody in the world knows Ocean Drive. Yep. So that's what they think. And no,
Yeah, I love Ocean Drive too. Walking down there, I was just watching
Right.
a show the other day, and they were driving down there in a big Cadillac, and I was like, oh, I miss it. But excellent. So I mean that is huge. And in the beginning, let's go back a little bit, because now we've already got people who have made money in different ways to legally pay your fair share without paying any more. But some ways, if somebody's just getting started in business, when it comes to whether it's taxes or structure, which, I mean, like you mentioned, an LLC with a S. The S filing as S, that means it gets taxed to the person, or they can file. It's a tax election. So you can still be an LLC and get a C for corporation, or file as an S. You can file as an S, and then 2 years later just elect to go as a C. But then that comes in with some, you got to get
Right.
all different things to pay checks and all that. So can you just give people more of like a very beginning? How
Okay.
could they actually set something up, and then we can move into the middle phase and then into the end phase?
Okay, how I've been coaching for almost 4 decades is there is no middle phase. You open up as a sub S company. What that means is you went to your state, you open up a corporation. You then get it back. When you go file the EIN number, employee identification number, you once you get that number, you then have to send in one form, the 2553, which says the shareholders say we want to be a sub S company. Where what that means is that whatever your profit or loss gets shifted over to your personal return. The way I explain it to my clients is that it's like getting interest in the bank. Obviously, you get interest in the bank. You only pay regular tax. You don't pay Social Security. You don't pay unemployment tax. You don't pay anything. Or another way to say it's like getting dividends from Walmart. That's how I always explain it. In my world, there is no middle. I am not an LLC guy. LLCs, unless you're going to have a bunch of partners, and even on a sub S company, you can have partners up to 14. But if you're a startup, okay, I tell people do a sub S company, because you pray and you hope that you're going to make over 249,000, and you have 16 partners. See, so that's a good problem you have. There's other ways why you would need an LLC. Is the only reason I say right now, if you're going to have an LLC that works, is if you're going to buy a lot of real estate. Because I mean, I'm in Florida, and there ain't a whole lot of houses you can buy for rental. You start stringing multiple houses together, you're going to go over to 250. So that's one reason. Another thing is, if you have foreign partners, you can have foreign partners on an LLC. You can't have foreign partners on a sub S company. A full C, you got to be dumb and stupid in my world, because look, you can't take the loss. If you have a loss on an LLC and a sub S 1120s, you can take a loss. On a corp, if you make $1, you got to pay 50 cents. And if you make a loss, you don't get nothing out of it.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So what's the difference between the sub S and a LLC that is S that you're filing?
It's simple. The difference is that on an S, you can have just one partner. Okay. What beat me off is, Mr. Ron, is everybody online. Oh, I'm going to get an LLC. So they do it themselves. Okay. No problem. You did it yourself. But when it comes to doing your tax return, remember the word partnership?
Yeah.
It says partnership. You don't have any partners. It goes on then it goes on your Schedule C. So it's not really doing you any good. And if somebody really wants to sue you, they're going to say, well, show me your tax returns. Because they know in an LLC, they're going to see your tax return. And guess what, Mr. Ron? There's your name. You don't have an IRS tax return that says, Jimmy Bob Inc. or LLC. So they can come after you. The second thing, people are always on there. And an LLC, people say, oh, I'll be a single member. Well, that will get you in trouble. It's the same thing, meaning that everything shows up on the Schedule C. Schedule C is the one paper, okay, that, which shows all your small business if you have no company. So if you're sole proprietor, it shows up there, and you can't take a big loss because the IRS, the biggest trick is the IRS can see every single line on your personal, what used to be the 1040. Now they made all this crazy different things. So they could say, boom, Schedule C, line 32, somebody in IRS world says, boom, I want to audit check line, blah, blah, blah. Hit the button, the letter goes out, you got to prove it. As a corporation, or as an LLC or sub-S company, or even the corporation, just the way it's designed, you put it on like sheets of paper. Literally, you put it on a single sheet of paper, and they can't come back. I mean, they could, but it would take a physical audit to check you.
Right. Yeah. So if you're a partnership, even if you just want to give somebody 1 or 2%,
you can get right. So my trick is if you already have an LLC, there's two schools of thought. School of thought is you go out and get somebody like me or anybody else to go out and to file a 2553 for you. And then now to the world, you're an LLC, but to the IRS, you're a sub-S company. Or
2553. I'm going to write that down.
Or you get your wife or dog or cat, anybody's Social Security, and you give them a 0.25% share.
Not even a whole. Not even
a quarter. 0.25, just enough to say that you're partners.
Yeah, then they get a K1 though, right?
Yeah, but it's a 0.25%.
Yeah,
0.25% is almost nothing. But why do I go through all that beep, 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 when unless you're buying a lot of real estate in a high-end area, just open up a sub-S company, don't listen to all these people online, and that's what you would do.
I love it. And one of the other tax benefits of having a company, and I'm not sure if it applies to, if there's a difference here, is like, I know not every year, but every time that I bought a new car in my company's name, I got to write off 50% in the first year and then the rest over the next coming years.
Well, here's my thinking of that, Ron. I'm a business guy. Couple of things I will tell you, at least I don't know in your state, but if you put your car in a company's name in Florida, okay, right, you're going to be paying 30% more car insurance because it's a business car. But what the IRS is, as long as you keep track of the miles, it's a business car. You just keep track of the miles that you went from A to B at a meeting, and it becomes a deduction. You do not have to have it in your car unless you really want to enjoy paying more money to the car insurance people, because the amount of deduction you pay extra to car insurance is not. Yeah, and by the way, you can still take off the tolls. You can still take off tolls. You can still take off parking. And I will guarantee you 98% of my time in almost 40 years, 37 years of doing this, the miles will always become greater than your car payment. Because you're paying 57 cents a mile. I mean, even if your car payment is 500 and half of 500 is, and you start driving, 10, 12,000 miles, or even 6,000, it's more than the car payment.
So instead of buying the car in your company's name, and then instead of doing the miles, because the miles might be a flag too, what about doing actual use? Just like, so you get up to 50%, the car costs 50 grand. That first year you're saving $8,000.
Right. Here's the trick though. Here's the trick. Nobody ever, you're probably right, but it never works, because have you ever gone to McDonald's in your car? Okay. You ever gone to, I don't know, went and bought an ice cream, went to Friendly's, went to non-business?
Oh, you have to have a separate car. One company.
No. My way, you do it with one car.
Okay, and then you just write off. Yep.
You keep track of the business miles. And if you're a heavy toll state, like I don't like in Massachusetts, but Florida's a heavy toll state. Okay, so you put your SunPass, which is how we pay tolls in Florida, you put it on the business credit card, and all that becomes deductible 100%. But if just that you take the miles, and the miles is just so much easier than trying to do the business percentages.
Okay, and that's cool because that's good to know, because I kind of was thinking that the other way, the actual use. Well, I knew that the miles would be more. I just felt that one, it's like literally I got to write down every single time, keep a journal,
By the way, based
and
on that,
for years, for 7 years, if they ever audit me.
can I tell you something though?
Yeah.
Under the usage thing, you still need to keep a journal. How about your business percentage? Like I said, you got to keep track of how many times you went to non-business related stuff. So you still need a journal.
Okay, unless it was strictly used for business.
But how many people, Ron, watching this show have 2 cars that I can see? Do you have an office or are you working out of your house?
I have an office, but the office is inside the house, so I get
Okay,
to
fine.
like
Right.
from my house out. Everything is
No. But my argument is in order to make that work, Ron, you literally have to have 2 cars. Like the best way I would describe it is at Best Buy, they have the Geek Squad trucks at the store.
Yeah.
The trucks stay, or a roofer. Here's my best example of this is people who have dump trucks. Well, they're not going to go, they're not going to go to McDonald's or take their wife on a date in a dump truck, right?
No.
So it's 100% use. But as a normal business guy, small businesses, so you're going to have to, they're not going to, the average realtor, internet marketer, carpenter, they're not, well, carpenters might have 2 trucks, carpenters and tradesmen, but the regular office type jobs, unless you're a carpenter, in the trade business, we has your truck, most of us only use 1 car, only have 1 car.
Okay. So that's good. So we know it's better to take the mileage, and and I'm sure that there's apps and other things out there that just make that whole process so much easier. But at the end of the day, 56 cents a mile, 57 cents a mile. If you're doing 10,000 miles a year, I mean that really adds up. And 10,000 miles is not a lot. I mean that's less than 1,000 a month. I mean, who isn't doing that? I remember when I was doing more tech work and going to sites. I used to do a lot of managed services. I was doing 22,000 a year. So at 56 cents a mile, I mean, geez,
better than right.
Yeah, that's 11 grand a year just in write-offs. And that's never mind the gas. So. Yeah, which would certainly, if it was a $400 a month payment, that's only, that's less than $5 grand. So I could have made another 6 just by doing the miles.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's excellent. All right, so now, so the small business owner, you've gave us some great ideas about whether they're vehicles, what type of vehicles, how to take care of that. Also about how to file in the very beginning. Can you give us any other tips on that? And then we can maybe start talking about some current events. Anything. This is really about you. So showcase. Tell us how you help people.
Well, first of all, we didn't close during COVID with my education marketing system, the new program, Entrepreneur Success Academy, which we're showing. We never closed. And Ron, anybody who follows me on Facebook, Ron, you didn't see me closed, right? We've been open nonstop.
Yep.
So you got to learn how to do education marketing. But on the office side, so many people got the PPP loans, EDL loans. Okay, I've been spending so much time getting people this extra money. The government's hurting. You just got to go out and get it. But the thing I'm going to tell you is be careful on trying to scam them. I had somebody today who called me, "Oh, Albert, I just got it. Do you have a business?" No. Then why are you getting it?
Wow. How did they get it?
Because the government doesn't know.
Yet. So they caught one guy. He got like 300 and I think he got like 3.5 million, and he went out and bought some fancy.
Yeah, right. On Ferrari. I saw it. And by the way, the guy was stupid.
Yeah.
I would have put the money in the accounts, and then later, oh, where'd you get the money? Oh, I made money. He told the bank, oh, I took my PPP money, my EDL money, and I bought a Ferrari. Ding, 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 ding. Just dumb. Guys, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you how, if you did get the loans, how to make sure you avoid paying it back. Legally, make sure you write a check to yourself. as most of us who are sub-S companies, we don't quote unquote pay ourselves, because I'll be the first one to tell you, I would tell everybody, Ron, that you give yourself a dividend check twice a month, right? And that's legal. You're getting dividends. But,
as an S corp?
As an S corp,
Wow.
right? LLC. But under the PPP guidelines, the whole idea of PPP was you have to pay, you have to keep employees working. You know what I'm trying to say, Ron?
Yep.
So the ninja trick would be two things. Ninja trick number one is you make sure you give yourself a check. Number two, if you said you had employees, so you don't get into trouble, and they gave you $12,000. Okay, be smart. Okay, so you don't have to pay it back. You then fill out a 941 and you pay the social. You like you fill out a W-2 form. 941 is the form that you use for the W-2 forms. You know, that you send the money in quarterly. You might have to pay back $2,000 to Social Security. To Social Security and Medicaid, but you have to do a W-2 for at the end of the year. But, let me ask you a question, Ron. You're in Boston. Let me see if you can figure this out. Okay, as a Patriots. Okay. Give them back, give the IRS about $2,200, of which it's going to go towards, most of that goes towards your Social Security. Or struggling and worrying about how you're going to pay back the $10,000 they gave you on PPP loans. Ron, what would you say? And you can sleep better knowing that you did it right. What would you do?
I'd do it right all day. The last people you want to mess with is the IRS.
Right. Well,
I mean, they're the only people that, I mean, they're just like straight gangsters. I'm not insulting them. I'm showing them respect.
Right. But that's how you get around it. There's so many ways you get around it legally.
Yep.
Legally. There's so many ways to get around it legally, and that's one of them. That's what I'm telling people. You just, whenever they go to ask for the 941, you just write them a check. Just make sure out of that 11,000 you took, and by the way, most Americans screw this up. They already blew the entire 11K. You should have saved some of the money to pay that 941, but most people didn't.
All right, so let me ask you this question for clarification. Somebody says the PPT had two components to it. One was 10,000 that they didn't have to, up to 10,000.
Right.
Based upon if you had 5 employees, you were only getting $5,000. So up to 10,000. All right, not everybody got the 10,000, and I don't know if that was 12, but up to 10,000. But now, did the PPT on top of that, the PPP on top of that, they might have given somebody 50,000, right? So what is the difference in the payback of what you're talking about?
There's two type of things. One is depending on how much money you made. Let's go with step one. Step one is the $10,000. Actually, I got clients up to 14,000 that says you had employees. And the PPP was designed to make sure you keep people working. Okay, so that's why I said the 941s. All right, so that as long as the PPP that you showed later that you had employees for the first 2 quarters, which you send in 2 941s, quarter 1, quarter 2, then you get out of it. Because you send in 941, you then showed it, that's 60%. The other 20% is your rent, and the other 20% is utilities.
All right. Now, wasn't some of that like totally forgivable? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you get it forgiven, Ron.
Oh, okay. So in order to get it forgiven, you have to show that whoever you kept was still there.
Yeah, and how you're doing it is through the form hasn't been released yet, but it's coming around. What I'm seeing some of the drafts is that you just got to show that you kept these people working. Now, the trick is you could have been a person of one, Ron. You understand, though? And it doesn't matter. You might have been the employee of Success Secrets, Inc. Well, you kept you working. You send the 941 in, and boom, you're done.
Okay. Now, what if you had, let's say you were a sole proprietor, but for some reason you had 5. Let's just use round numbers. We said 5 before. You had 5 subcontractors, so you put down 6 employees. They gave you $6,000. What would you do in that case? How would you fix that if you made that mistake?
Okay, if you made that mistake, what I've been telling my clients, and we did about 40 of these, 40 or 50 people,
Yep.
You just make sure that you're paying them by check with their name. You know what I'm talking, Mr. Ron? You make sure that they're paid. You make sure you're paid with the name. Sorry, on the check, it's Ron Cummings, commission check, blah blah blah. In the comments of your check,
Right.
you put commission paid, blah blah blah, and if they come back, when they're going to come back and ask you, here's the checks. I mean, they're not going to ask you for the checks, but you can say that's the backup that you paid these people.
All right. Or I assume that if somebody uses, like I pay my people, most of my people through online, and I just create an invoice and a payment check through PayPal and Western Union. So it's all documented. I mean, it's and they've been with me for years.
Right.
So in my case, it's just nothing has changed except now they're not homeless and hungry.
Yes.
Which was the point, right? But great information. Now, there is some time restrictions coming up. So I assume that going forward, if somebody wanted to get some information on how to file for either an EIDL or the PPP, is that something that they can contact you about now? And what's the time frame? What's the deadline?
Deadline is I think the 8th. When's the 8th? The end of the week? Saturday at midnight. Time is running out. Okay. Time is running out, so you better hurry up and get it out pretty quickly. If you need help, Ron, if you even put this in the scroll bar, by the way, if you text Taxman at 26786, you're going to get my business explosion system that we're going to show you how to grow your business, simple tips, the blueprint, how you can build your business. But I'm going to put in the chat, if you really need help like instantly, I'm even giving you my office number, 823-9228. And here's my email. My email is very easy. It's albert@1040w2.com. And if you're going to email us, put that you saw hers in the subject line. Put you saw us on Ron's show, because we get close to 300 emails a day. And we'll check it that's how we know real quick what to look for.
All right, and I'll tell them, say from Ron's show.
Right. The reason why I said that, Ron, is, with so many emails, if you
gotta prioritize them.
Right. We get emails every day. Yep. We did most of our work, even when, when the IRS was closed, through my education marketing system that we teach in the Entrepreneur Success Academy. We didn't close at all. We actually went up 20%. When everybody else was closed, we were open.
1040W2. What a great email.
Part of my book, The Perception System, Ron. That's how I built my business.
Nice. I love it. So people can contact you for like help with the PPP, which runs out Saturday. They can help with EDI, with the economic loans. They can contact you for just how to start a company and start it right, so you're not going back making fixing mistakes. Once they have a company up and existing, they can contact you and hire you to maybe do their taxes or advise them whether to buy a car in a company's name or to do it the other way. So you're kind of like, you have a lot of different ways that people can actually utilize your services.
Yes, sir. Since 1985, guys, I've been helping people. I mean, you realize we filed over 80,000 regular returns and 15,000 business returns. Wow. Obviously, I kind of know what's going on. I have an ear to the ground on how to build your business and how to hate to say it, to avoid paying the government.
Yeah, well, avoid paying the government, more than you have to.
Right.
So, that's the difference. I mean, that's like the flag. Avoid paying the government, that's going to raise a flag. Avoid paying the government more than you have to is legal. It's fine. It's morally and it's ethically.
By the way, or here's how I say it, Ron. Here's I'm quoting kind of the Bible. but only give Caesar what Caesar's due.
Exactly.
Buddy, don't overpay Caesar, guys. But hate to tell you, I did not. Oh, listen, when it came to paying the government, there is not a $100,000 hammer in the U.S. military with my name on it. I'm sorry to tell you that. So for everybody who has regular W-2 forms, there's $100,000 hammers and toilet paper with your name on them because you need a business. Okay, you need a business because that's the easiest way to pay less. I mean, everybody has a business, so why don't you? And let the government pay. My motto is let the government pay for you to build your business. If it loses for 3 or 4 years and you got a real job, guess what? People, it takes years to get businesses. You just got to show for about 7 years you're actively moving the business forward.
Right. And as long as you turn a profit 1 year out of every...
No, not even. The rule says is, are you moving the business forward?
Okay.
And here's the best example of that, Ron, is if you were, and I'm coming up with the examples real quick. You know, you're Disney World. How long did it take Disney World to develop Orlando? I mean, develop your little park? Years.
Yeah.
So, but you know, the IRS could have went and audited them and say, well, guess what? They see the plows keep digging every day. They saw, you know, that you went and got the architect, the roads. You know, you just keep working. And then even then, it took them years to get people into the park.
All right. Albert, do me a favor. Give us 3 tips right now. If somebody's just starting a business or they got a business, give us 3 tips what people could do to make their business and their better and taxes less.
The first thing I will tell you to do, guys, do not use TurboTax. Number 1, my first rule is thou shalt not use TurboTax. Second tip, make sure you get somebody who knows what they're doing. Make sure that you're not doing somebody's return on their desk. And I guess my third tip to do, make sure you open up a corporation, a sub-S company as fast as possible so that the government will pay you to build your business, you know, and you're going to pay less to the government. You know, and like I said, why I'm going to tell you why you hire somebody to do it is the example I always use is if you have a heart attack, I'm dying, and you're on the counter, are you going to go rip out a cord, get a cable, and get your heart started? Right? No, you're going to call 911 or you're going to go to a cardiologist. Same thing with your tax returns, guys. If you want to start to make money in a business, you need to work. You need to work in your business, not on your business. Go out and get somebody who can help you get it done.
I love it. And that's kind of like, was one of my favorite books. Oh, E-Myth Revisited, Michael Gerber. That's one of when I first started many years ago. You got to work on your business, not in your business. And it's tough because a lot of people, nobody can do it like me type stuff. But Albert, I think you've been amazing. Is there anything in closing you'd like to tell everybody?
Yes. Go get my free gifts, guys. How do you like the word free?
I love free.
Business Explosion, which is like $297 worth of value. If you want
free, wow,
free. Another cool thing is if you go to Albert C 360, you get to see my Facebook, my Instagram. You can see all my social media platforms, and you can click. You can get a 30-minute free consultation.
Here's a tip, everybody. If you can't write it quick enough, just take your phone and take a picture. All right, so great. A free consultation, a free course. And you've given, I mean, you've talked about several wide areas here. So your breadth of knowledge is anybody in business or starting a business, you could certainly help. So I want to thank you very much for being a guest on this show right now.
Thank you, Ron. And like I said, it's a pleasure. One more quick thing. One of my tips that I show in my my blueprint, how to increase your bottom line, is Remember, Ron, we met a year ago at an event. See, so guys, if you want to learn a simple way to start building your business, watch these shows, go join all those Facebook groups that are going to push your business forward, and you're going to go to the next level, even during COVID.
Yeah, I think it was more than a year ago, but certainly at the last. It's so funny because you say that, right? And I just got pop-ups from the last year ago when I was in Chicago, and that was at Ultimate Wealth Camp.
Yes.
And my memories, literally, it's funny because I was on top of the world at the Signature Room, and with my girlfriend, and we were looking at the sunset and everything and having dinner. And my top was, 1 year ago memory was a year ago on top of the world. Now I'm hiding behind a mask, right? And but you're right. It was almost literally a year ago. But I thought we had met prior to that. But hey, even if it was only a year, you're right. You've got to go to events. You got to if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You got to pay. Don't just go to these free networking events down the street because you're getting a slice of pizza and a warm bottle of water. You're never going to find a blue marlin in a fishbowl, right? So get up, go out to some events, pay, because people who pay attention, and that means everybody else in that room also paid, right? So you're in a different caliber of people with a different mindset. You want to surround yourself with like-minded people, but who are playing at levels 4 or 5 times higher than you want to play at.
Uh-huh.
So I love it. Don't get me started. This is about you, man.
Well, now it's about me helping the world, because the problem is today. No, I know we're running out of time. This guy, you got to go. Another thing is, if you know something today, here's another thing everybody can do today. When you're on Facebook, make somebody smile, okay? Because we're all in this crazy shit together and all this stuff. And we're all this way, Ron, because we got anger. Show love and smiles, because a smile will change the world.
I love it. And I love Frank Shankowitz, founder of Make-A-Wish. He always, one of the things he says a lot of things I like, but I remember he talks about every time you donate to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, you are adding to the miles of smiles of the people that they help. So yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing when you can, because you never know what people are going through. I mean, you could look at them and they could seem fine, and they just lost a loved one. They lost their job. They don't even know how they're going to pay their rent, and it's the 5th of the month. And you know what I mean? So you never know what's going on in somebody's life. So I love that mindset, and you have tremendous value. So I highly recommend people reach out. I'm going to close this out for now, and I want to thank very much Albert Corey for coming on. And you guys, you've seen his information. Please take a picture of this. I'll let it scroll through again and reach out to him. But this will also be up on YouTube, and it's going to be live on my Facebook as well as Albert. So you can go back and look at it at any time. Thank you again, Albert.
Yep.
Hi, everyone. That was an amazing episode with Albert Corey. And he knows so much about taxes from the very beginning, what you need to pay, or first of all, how to set your company up to protect you and to also not overpay. Maybe there's some things that some people are telling you need that you don't need, or maybe you don't need them at this time. So the formation of your company is a very important thing. But then going forward, how to structure and run your business, like we talked about the difference between buying a car in your company name or actually writing off the miles, which is different, which is better. How can you make more? It's great to have somebody who is so experienced in those things. Right now, we have the PPP loans as well as the EIDL loans going on. Albert is a great person that you might want to talk to about how to process those. And it's kind of a rush because I believe the last filing date, at least this round, is the 8th of August. So get on that. I mean, if there's some money out there that can help you, help your company, your workers, I mean, that's what it's there for. That's what we pay into the system for, right? So when we need help, it's there for us. Anyhow, I want to thank Albert and the rest of you for another great episode. Stay tuned. We have 4 more guests coming today. Wendy Labatt is our next guest coming up in about 15 minutes.